Some things I do with my daily feeding. I use these little yogurt jars. I do have a plethora of jars to choose from because I collect jars because I'm a magpie. These are my favorites for daily feedings because they're kind of expensive yogurt, but the yogurt's delicious. And then you get this awesome little jar when you're done. Awesome. They are this brand. They come in these ceramic pots too, which I also really like because I have plants, but they are delicious. Anyway, I like to take these rubber spatulas. These are really pretty cheap online. I like to scrape the edges after I've done a little stir. And then I take it over to, I have these grill mats. I highly recommend these for cooking, but what they're also really good for is drying out your discard. Yeah, see, I get almost all of it out because I like to work with a very little daily feed. And then we just take this and we spread it out nice. Alright, and then there's some on the spatula, and just because, like I said, I don't like a lot of starter to work with, I just scrape that off because this is all going to dry out like this. Very dry, brittle. And when that's all dry, I keep all of my dried discard in this big jar that eventually gets broken down. And, you know, I'll gift this to people to start their own starters. Anyway, back to my starter. I like to keep this all together. I've got a little temperature, humidity thing. I like to keep my water where I store my starter so that it has the same temperature. And I just do a little, like, little splash. Little splash. I just stir it up. It's a nice, like, milky consistency. And I said I like very little. I mean very, very little. So, I mean, all you need is that bacteria to keep living. You don't need enough to make bread with every day. I just bring this on over to my baking cabinet. Ta-da! My baking cabinet. I've got just the smallest little scoop in here. I usually only need one, what is this, tablespoon? Yeah, sprinkle that in there. And just stretch around. I also really enjoy working with like a stiff starter because it cleans up so well. That is what we end up with. It's like a little bit of clay. Do you see how well that cleaned up the edges of the jar? And since my jar is getting to the dirtier side, I'm actually going to switch this out for a new jar, and I'll show you what I do with this jar because I don't use a ton of paper towel. I'm going to come over to this jar cabinet that I have. I'm just going to plop that in its new home, and it'll be fine. It'll spread out by morning, and it'll be as flat as this one was. These all get their lids, and these go back into the oven with the light on. I'm the only one that cooks in my house, so I know that no one's going to cook my starters. I just put stuff that I want to dry on the bottom rack because it's all very warm in here.